Hello, and welcome to Versus Live, brought to you by StarCityGames.com. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
And we got special guest Jerry Thompson in the booth again.
What, are you saying he's not creeping up behind me and terrifying me?
No.
No.
That was
I'm over here, man.
That was a one-time thing.
You're off it? Now you're just showing up to work normal?
I'm tired today.
Yeah. Stayed up too late working, huh?
I did. I had to do an article last night, man.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm empathizing. I do that a lot.
Also, there's only so many times you can sneak up behind someone before they start, expecting it.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's the best, right? Is when they just live in constant fear.
No, that's okay.
Best is that's a way you could describe that.
All right. We also got Dan the Man over in the booth side. Dan.
Hey, everybody.
He's going to be keeping the show running smooth. What do we have on the docket today, Mr. Ross?
We got more Modern Horizons. Set has a ton of sweet cards.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are far from done in exploring everything the set has to offer. We did a bunch of cool decks on Tuesday. Make sure to check that out on YouTube or on StarCityGames.com. That'll be up tomorrow.
Yep.
If you missed the live show. But today we're just going to continue that exploration. We got 6 sweet new decks.
Yeah, and focusing around a lot of different new cards. Modern Horizons, actually, the full preview comes out tomorrow. Should have all the cards listed. Right now we have about a little over half, I think, maybe like 3/4.
2/3, yeah, 3/4, something like
so
that.
there's still a bunch of commons and uncommons. We might get a Basking Root Walla, Cross Your Fingers.
We got Frost Walla
today. We did get Frost Walla, and that made me really upset.
Yeah, I saw the name, and I thought maybe we were getting like a Snow Basking Root Walla.
Just make it, same as Basking Root Walla, right? Except it just costs Snow to pump it, okay? All I care about is the madness anyway, Madness 0. That's all I want. So I can Vengevine, do some cool things with Faithless Looting. Or...
You want that Vengevine deck to be broken? Is that what you want?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well...
What? Everyone's going to ley line of the void me anyway. All right, so what decks are we playing up first?
So on Tuesday we had some rumblings in the chat about Ailua's influence, Bear Assault, and I've had a sweet little Aggro Loam deck brewed up for a while in a Google Doc, and breaking that one out today. I was so happy to see the Onslaught Cycling Lands be added to the set. I knew that they were, fit into the number crunch for a while, and I was kind of expecting them. So I wanted to hold off on the Aggro Loam deck to see if they were actually going to be there. They came. I added some to the list. It's a list that has a lot of things that I wanted to put in it, and it's really tight on space, especially in the mana base. I'm playing 27 lands, but there's so many options for utility lands. You want a good number of fetch lands because they play well with Life from the Loam. We have a Golgari Horizon land. Probably worse than Cycling Lands with Loam, but it's a dual land as well, which is really nice.
Being a dual land is huge when you have both Liliana of the Veil and Ailua's influence in your deck. So, definitely a huge addition to the deck, and one that I'm pretty excited to play. But the mana base is going to be the most difficult part of this deck to build, I think, because triple green mixed with a couple of double black spells, and then just needing to start off with the turn 1 Inquisition of Kozilek or Thoughtseize means this might be a little hard to have that triple green on turn 3 as well.
Yeah, I'm not really planning to cast my Bear Assault on turn 3. That's more of a late game card, and Life of the Loam, can get you up to 3 green sources pretty quickly once that engine gets going. So I was more concerned with being able to cast my black spells early, because that's when you need to cast them. You want your Thoughtseize Inquisition on turn 1, your Liliana on turn 3. So I'm more concerned with making sure I have early black than triple green on turn 3. That guided the mana base to some extent, and hopefully things play out that way. I went with black as the secondary color in this deck rather than red, which you might go for red and 6, Faithless Looting, some other good options.
Yeah,
because I think you really need the disruption against combo decks.
Even potentially Living Twister as like a pretty solid body that has a really cool attachment with the land theme. So yeah, I like the look of the deck so far. We played a few fun games, just kind of warming up today, and it looked really cool. Yep. So I'm hoping that sticks around. I'm going to be playing a Grixis mid-range deck that I built yesterday and posted on Twitter, and it got a little bit of attention.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, this deck looks sweet.
Look, I show Jerry my decks every now and then, and Jerry rarely says that the deck looks decent. And yesterday I got a dece from him.
I just didn't have time to fully critique you.
That's fair. No, I don't. That's fine. So basically, this is a Grixis mid-range deck focusing around the cards Unearth and Seasoned Pyromancer. It also has Dreadhorde Arcanist and Snapcaster Mage in the 2-drop slots, which also work really well with Unearth to just continually bring back these creatures that accrue value once they enter the battlefield or start attacking. I'm hoping to have quite a few games where I hit Ross with an early discard effect, maybe kill a creature on turn 2 or 3, and then start following that up with these value plays like Unearth on Snapcaster Mage to fatal push you or whatever. In order to facilitate that, I have like 3 Thought Scours and 2 Faithless Looting to do the more combo-oriented draws. But for the most part, it's going to be a more Value Town deck where you're going to see Unearth Chains featuring Snapcaster Mage bringing back Dreadhorde Arcanist or Seasoned Pyromancer pretty regularly, I think.
Yeah, and that seems great. All of those creatures are great to return with Unearth. 2 of them flashback Unearth for even more value. Yeah. So you get synergy in both directions.
Yeah,
which is really nice. And I think the opening of, turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 Dreadhorde Arcanist, turn 3 flashback that discard spell, play a cantrip, and then fatal push your 2-drop is really, really strong.
Yeah, this is, I think Unearth was the card that I was most excited about seeing because I needed one more element to make Dreadhorde Arcanist good. Normally, you have your removal and you have your draw cards, right? And then you kind of want one more element to really push Dreadhorde Arcanist over the top. I think the card's phenomenal. I think it's going to be one of the better cards in recent sets for Legacy specifically. But now that we have Unearth and Modern with the, you could just attack with it and cast a Reanimate spell. That just seems really strong, especially when combined with Snapcaster Mage and Seasoned Pyromancer.
Yeah, it's just another dimension to what the ability can do. We think of Snapcaster Mage being able to target a cantrip to get straight card advantage in a proactive way, to target a removal spell and affect the battlefield, or target a counter spell and fight something on the stack, and it can do all 3 of those things. Dreadhorde Arcanist, not good with counter spells, so you're mainly targeting cantrips and removal and discard spells to get your value that way. And then now it can target Unearth, and so can Snapcaster, and they can become additional threats if you need to build a large battlefield yourself.
Just helps you really win these attrition battles against the fair decks, while also just giving you a reasonable clock against some of the combo decks. If you put 2 Dreadhorde Arcanists on the battlefield before turn 4 against a combo deck, that just means you're going to be able to close games more quickly with things like Lightning Bolt to the Dome. You're going to be able to find more disruption off of Serum Visions and Thought Scours, and you're also just going to be able to recur the discard spells by hitting them with Inquisition and Thoughtseize again. I just think Dreadhorde Arcanist is a phenomenal card that didn't get a lot of hype when it was first printed or first previewed, and I thought that was a shame. And now we're going to see just how good it is today, hopefully.
Todd, no Kess in your deck?
I thought about Kess. I think Gurmag Angler fills that slot quite well. I think 4 mana is a lot. I actually considered building this deck with like 8+ of the fast lands and just stopping my curve at 3. Kess doesn't work with Unearth to bring it back. And Seasoned Pyromancer also kind of fills that role where it accrues value. It's kind of your top end. But I mean, obviously, I think Kess is good. I think it's more of a control card than anything. I would want Kess more in like a Cryptic Command deck, I think. But I could be wrong.
So you just want to play 12 4-drops?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I also think Dreadhorde Arcanist does something very similar to Kess and does it for half the mana cost. And if I'm building my deck around Dreadhorde Arcanist, I don't really need Kess because all the cards work better with Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah, you're already scavenging your graveyard a lot with Snapcaster Mage and Dreadhorde Arcanist, and so Kess might not be as valuable because you don't have as many targets for it, and piling more of those effects makes you that much more vulnerable to graveyard hate.
Right.
Eventually you get to the point where Rest in Peace is really good against you.
Yeah, I mean, I already think Rest in Peace is pretty good against me. We're going to need probably some Engineering Explosives in the sideboard or something to deal with it.
Well, that card's great, so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this deck is just like rough draft number 1, and then if it ends up being functional, then we start looking for, okay, how do we beat Rest in Peace / Leyline of the Void? Okay, like what sideboard cards do we need to make sure that we have so we don't lose to X strategy or Y strategy?
Yeah. Then you start covering your bases with specific things once you sort of hone down the initial sculpture.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to be the matchup. Do we want to field any thing from chat before we get started?
Oh, Feingersh points out that Ross is missing the Gitrog monster.
He's not missing. We talked about it. It's a little expensive. I personally think he should be playing 1 because it's sweet.
Yes.
But,
yeah, I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, I guess. I thought about it, but I already had such little space I had to go down to 2 Tireless Trackers. And I can't justify putting a Gitrog in my deck when I only have 2 trackers.
Sure you can. It's Gitrog monster. Discard a land, make a 2/2, draw a card. Sounds great.
Hoppity.
Try sweet things.
Yeah. All right.
So Emperor Floyd is back. They say Gitrog or Riot.
Okay, you guys got to stop threatening to riot. You're just gonna become the chat who called riot.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
My hand's pretty good. You're on the play because I have the marble still back here somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying.
My hand is solid.
Yeah,
we don't have a 1-mana spell, but we have basically everything else we want.
All right, let's go Black-Red Inquisition. I'm at 17.
Okay.
So Mason Clark points out that Gitrog has never lost on Versus Live.
Ooh.
Is that even true?
I don't know.
I feel like I've probably built a horrible... Well, okay, maybe on Versus Live. I'm thinking, throughout all of the Versus series.
So if I take Dark Confidant... I don't have a spot removal spell in my hand, so I think I actually have to take Dark Confidant here.
It's probably never even been cast on Versus Live.
It has.
Well, then it's never lost.
It has.
That's in the last 6 months?
Not in the last 6 months. They're probably talking about the Versus series, but maybe they're talking about...
Yeah, I'm saying since we gone live, I don't think it's been cast.
All right, I'm at 17.
And that's probably why they made that statement. It's vacuously true. That was a good draw.
Hope you didn't draw a black source.
So we've got land, sorcery, creature already. Go very safe from bolt.
Yeah.
Might as well just cast it.
All right, so I can... Yeah, I think now instead of playing the Dreadhorde Arcanist, there's a chance he hits me with a Lily next turn, so I think I'm going to go ahead and Inquisition and try to take that. And since I have the Serum Visions as my other play, I'm making this Tarmogoyf really big, but...
Had the black source.
Yeah, he drew it, but Top 2. Neither of these are removal spells. I am literally just digging for a way to kill the Tarmogoyf here, I think. Let me make sure I don't need the land.
We got a 4/5 Tarmogoyf here. Land, sorcery, creature, planeswalker. Yeah.
I'm going to take one of the lands because you have a Ghost Quarter.
Chet points out that if that Dark Confidant were a Gitrog monster, Todd couldn't have taken it with Inquisition.
Yeah, but also wouldn't be getting punched in the face for 4 damage here. So
Yeah. That's
You'd be getting punched by that frog in like 6 turns.
yeah.
attack for 4.
All right, 13 to 20.
Let's crack the fetch to 19. Get the last overgrown tomb, and then loam back my Verdant.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right, we are going to play Seasoned Pyromancer. We're going to discard Dreadhorde and Unearth and make 2 Roth Miriams. Draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Is that better? So I'm going to make 1 Roth Miriam. I'm going to hold the Unearth and discard a land. I think that's better. Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. Here we go.
Okay. Well, let's start the dredge train, I guess. No. Okay. Well, we hit an instantly, so now we have a 5/6 Goyf. But I don't like that Tireless Tracker. And now I can...
Todd, you get to draw 1 more card, I believe.
Pretty sure I drew... Oh, you're right, actually. Okay. I'm stupid.
How do you forget to draw cards, man? That's the best part.
Because I changed my mind in the middle of a thing.
Fetch to 18.
Okay, 18, 13.
Yeah, we're just going to try to dredge and find some of these cycling lands, and that'll get our card advantage engine going. For now, I can...
So, do I know any of the cards in your hand?
I think you know that I have Collective Brutality, but you don't know the other one.
That is it.
And...
You going to Collective Brutality me?
I'm wondering what order to do this in. So I have just another land.
I would do the Collective Brutality first, discard the land so you get full value out of
the loam, but
yeah.
then I don't get full value out of the Brutality.
Well, the Drain 2 is not a huge deal.
Yeah, that was sort of what I was thinking. I think that's less valuable than getting an extra card out of the loam, so I am going to sequence it that way, but it's not...
I mean, maybe not. I mean... Huh.
I mean, I guess it does. It does put you to 11. So if you fetch, Goyf is a 2-turn clock.
No, I actually think I agree with that because I mean, the loam is kind of an excess of resources that I can't really do anything about, right? And I think the 2 life matters a little bit more than just that 1 extra land in hand.
Well, let's keep the fetch land in hand. Right, so I guess I'll do it that way.
20.
Yeah. All 3 modes. Kill the Pyromancer.
All right. You want to push, a command, or an unearth?
Well, unfortunately, the Snapcaster Mage means my Goyf is getting pushed next turn regardless.
Yep.
With that being the case, does it still make sense to take the push, or should we? I think I should just take the unearth, because I'm going to start gaining a ton of card advantage with the loam.
Yeah.
So leaving Todd with reactive cards is better. And then attack for 5.
I'm going to take it down to 6. I think I need to apply some pressure
Pass the
here.
turn.
And the token is good, but... Alright, I'm going to push your Goyf and then play Dreadhorde Arcanist and attack for 1.
That's a really good draw.
So
19.
19. Your turn. It was a great draw. I agree.
That is absolutely incredible.
It sure is.
I still think our best bet is to just continue dredging loam and try to find cycling lands quickly, rather than just drawing off the top.
Yeah, you have 5, and that's a thing that people need to understand with the new cycling lands, is that now that you have the Tranquil thing, it takes a little more mana to get going, but overall you're just going to see more cards.
Okay, so let's get back the 3 lands that are here. And I have exactly 1 fetchable land left in my deck.
It's probably a mistake.
But I'd rather just get the Blooming Marsh down if I don't have a 2-drop to play, so I'm just going to cycle the Thicket now.
Okay.
And that is a 2-mana play. So let's play it and pass the turn. And on your upkeep, I'll Trophy the Arcanist.
We'll wait till draw step.
No.
Sure, whatever. Should just main phase it while I'm tapped out then, I guess. Or it doesn't matter.
I know your hand.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't matter. Has no effect on the game. Alright, so I'm going to draw for turn.
Okay, dealing with the Arcanist is really nice, because I just wanted to stop Todd from... I guess you can still unearth the Pyromancer with Snapcaster, but...
So, Snap Unearth on the Pyromancer sounds pretty good. But I have to discard the Kolaghan's command if I do that. I can also just go Snap Unearth on the Dreadhorde Arcanist. I need to close the game quickly, though. The problem is I have a land in hand, so I'm not going to be able to make 2 tokens off of the Seasoned Pyromancer. But I think that's okay.
Can't you just, Kolaghan's command back the Arcanist this turn? With the...
Yeah, but I'm not applying enough pressure to you, I don't think, if I do that.
And I think... Then you snap the following turn.
Okay. Alright, I'll go to 4. Make you discard, bring back Dreadhorde. See, it's not really that big of a deal, because you just are loaming. So the discard might matter less than 2 damage, but maybe not. I'll put you 17.
18, right?
Or 18, yeah. Sorry.
So 18 to 4.
Here you go.
Okay, continue the loam train.
Yep.
That's how these decks go.
I got a pretty good question for the both of you.
Yeah, see, I don't know. This sucks. Sorry, go. Ross is tricking me into doing crap I don't want to do. I'm losing because of it. Anyway.
Do you want a question, Todd? This one's kind of up your alley.
All right, let's go.
This is from Joe Hoffman, and he wants to know, what marinade do you use for a seasoned pyromancer?
Dale's and Italian dressing.
So let's play the Blast Zone and then just pass the turn.
All right, draw. And do I know you just have 2 lands in hand?
Yeah, I have Tranquil Thicket Verdant.
Okay. So this Inquisition is actually worse than a Seasoned Pyromancer draw. So I'm going to attack with both. We're going to unearth targeting Seasoned Pyromancer, because we can't do unearth target snap, unearth target Pyromancer. So
yep.
We'll just do this. We'll bring discard the Inquisition, draw 2, make 1 Ross Miriam token.
And I'll take 2, go to 16.
Yep. And then I will Thought Scour myself. Hit another Seasoned Pyromancer, that's nice. Draw 2, or draw 1, excuse me.
And you hit a looting.
So Ross is probably going to blast on me next turn, so there's very little reason to Arcanist. So we'll just shock
to 2
and threaten the Seasoned Pyromancer exile out of the grave. Let's say go.
Yeah, definitely want to deal with that Arcanist, so let's put a counter on Blast Zone rather than cycling. Dredge. I guess I can just draw initially. If I want to dredge the loam, I can cycle the Thicket for that. Because I guess I have exactly enough mana to cycle Thicket, cast the loam, and activate the Blast Zone.
Tannen says that your cooking is great, Todd.
Oh, thanks.
Well, that was the worst possible draw.
Oh, you took a natural draw?
Yeah.
Oh, because you have the thicket for the loam.
Yeah, it just gives me more information. But I drew the swamp, so...
That's a two. Well, you can just crime the verdant. Get my last card. That'll make my looting worse next turn. But, whatever.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Play my land, crime you.
Yep. Doesn't do anything else right now, so...
And... pass the turn.
Alright, exile Pyromancer. Get 2 things.
Yep.
Untap. Would you like to do anything?
Yeah, I'll blast zone on your upkeep.
Alright, draw. We drew another looting, which technically casting it is worse than flashing back one from my grave, I guess. So, let's do that.
These tokens are actually pretty tough for my deck to deal with.
Yeah.
I think I need to...
You have 2/2 tokens.
Yeah, I think I need to find influence pretty quickly. Oh, what was I saying? I have another fetchable. I have another forest in my deck.
Okay, attack for 6.
I'm at 10.
I will say go.
End of turn, cycle thicket.
Okay.
Another awkward draw. Take another natural one. That's also not great. We drew another loam, so let's get back these, I guess. And then cycle thicket. Okay, that is something.
Static Grip says you could play a Thespian stage in your deck to copy your blast zone to kill tokens.
There we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
That is the back door.
So is this a 6/7 now? Yeah. We have Ayula's influence and Planeswalker and the usual suspects. Pass the turn.
Alright, snap push.
Ugh. Oh, that's... I'm stupid. I should have crimed you.
Would have been slightly better. I was probably going to snap on Thought Scour in response. So. Do you want to undo?
Yeah. Let's do it that way.
All right, so pick this up. Yeah.
Crime you.
All right, I'm going to snap targeting Thought Scour.
Okay, I will.
Crime resolves. Not casting Scour yet.
Yeah, play a Tarmogoyf.
That resolves.
Pass the turn.
Scour myself.
Yep.
So hit Unearth, Bolt, draw, land, obviously. Untap all these, draw for turn. This 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back 1, attack these. Block here. 5. Go back 2. Take 4. Let's flash back a looting. Draw. Discard this. And this. Draw. Crap. Bottom both these. Alright, let's attack with all these and just hope he doesn't find a spot removal spell. So eat this, I'm assuming, so I don't get the potential to Pyromancer you more.
Go 5.
Go.
Push this thing.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Seemed like a pretty aggressive play from your end, but I guess I'm still loaming every turn. And
yeah, we're going to count that one for a me. Because I'll let Ross take back thing.
Man,
I don't think it's that aggressive. I can't give you an extra... Like, I had a bolt in hand, and I can't give you, like, a full extra turn. If I hold back 2 things, I don't know. Like, I only didn't know 1 card that you drew.
Yeah.
You know?
You want to play another game 1, or...?
Yeah, we can. That's fine. My sideboard is basically just going to become a bunch of surgicals, and I might actually Fulminator Mage, which seems... a little loose, but you know, whatever. Any questions over there, Mr. Gerald?
Yeah. So chat points out that you could play a Genesis in your deck to return stuff like Courser, which could be pretty nice. Seems pretty sweet in that deck. And Samurai wants to know about Jace Vryn's Prodigy in Todd's deck.
Yeah, I thought about it. I think it kind of sits on top of Dreadhorde Arcanist, and it's a little bit worse, but not by a lot. And I actually had 2 in my deck before I added in 2 Gurmag Angler. I just wanted a way to close a little more quickly.
Fair enough.
Possible Seasoned Pyromancer is enough to do that, though. And then I can just play like 2 Jace in the slot where I have Gurmag.
Sure. Blackout wants to know what y'all think gains the most from MH1. Which deck?
I don't know. So we're trying out.
I don't know if there's a single deck that is like an easy winner, at least among decks that currently are well played. Honestly, I don't think the top tier of Modern right now gains a lot from Modern Horizons. There's not really a new tool for Tron, or
I think
there's that one card
a lot
for
of
humans.
decks get hammered by Modern Horizons because there's so much like artifact hate and stuff.
Yeah, those decks definitely lose out. The oof is a collector oof is an oof for them.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna keep my hand. I have a hard time ever mulliganing one-liners with Seer Visions, but I'm just gonna wait on Ross to figure out if he's mulliganing or not. But
I'm snap keeping this one.
All right. Take one more question while I'm doing this, juror.
Yeah, Ember Floyd, kind of on the topic of artifact hate, wants to know, when is Shenanigans better than Ancient Grudge?
What's Shenanigans again? Oh,
1R sorcery,
yeah,
destroy an artifact, dredge 1.
When you're playing against a deck with Graph Digger's Cage, like if you play against Lantern, they a lot of times have like 1 or 2 cages main, and that shuts down the second half of Grudge. Whereas if they ever mill over your Shenanigans, you can always dredge it back because they have abilities that just can't be cast from the ground.
Right.
So.
I mean, Shenanigans just seems absurd against Lantern. Like,
yeah.
Basically unbeatable.
It literally is shattering a Lantern on the card. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
All right. Draw a Serum. Need lands. 2 lands on top.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think there are a lot of decks that Shenanigans is better than Grudge against, but I also think those decks are getting so much worse that they probably won't see play, and so you'll still see way more Grudges.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not every deck can also splash green for Ancient Grudge, right? So Shenanigans can go in more, like, is it Phoenix sideboards or whatever, you know?
Yep.
All right, let's go 15 and play a Dreadhorde.
Sure. On your end step, I will cycle a Tranquil Ticket.
Ooh. Might get to untap with a Dreadhorde Arcanist? That's exciting.
Push your Dreadhorde Arcanist. You're up.
Rats. All right, I'm going to go to...
You're at 15 right now.
12, I guess. Yeah, the mana base on this deck is definitely not correct. I am dealing myself way too much damage to be able to cast on my spells, but maybe that's kind of what you have to do in order to play like Unearth, Seer Vision, Thoughtseize, and Bolt.
How many fast lands are in your deck?
Only 4 Spire Bluff. I thought I actually considered building it with like 7 or 8, but I just thought there might be some turn 4s where I couldn't double spell. So
no fiery islets?
No. I'm actually, I don't know if I think I want to keep the other Seasoned Pyromancer and just try to punish Ross if he's a little too slow. So let's discard these 2. Draw 2. Pass turn. It's a really good draw from us if he's reactive. We have a really aggressive start here.
Inquisition you.
Seasoned Bolt.
I will take the Seasoned Pyromancer.
Yep.
That is the most difficult card. And then I'll loan back this ticket.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Draw. That was a great draw. Let's go Inquisition you. Oh, take your bear salt.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll take bear salt. That's a nice one to take. Attack for 4.
16. Now I'm dead. There's no way I'm recovering from this in time, especially with the Angler.
You have sorcery over there?
Yeah.
You have instant?
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here we go. If he wants to cry me, I'll just bolt him. Bolt him.
Loaming here is not going to be close to fast enough, so we got to find some good stuff.
Lily, minus.
Well, that's not great.
I know, stupid.
Liliana's not going to do it, so I guess I'll crime you.
Bully.
I'm at 13.
Yeah.
Cycle Thicket.
Sure.
Play Dark Confidant.
Sure.
You can go.
Land.
Go to 4.
4. I'll Inquisition you. Your turn.
So I could
Tarmogoyf, I think.
Dredge Loam and use that to at least get back Thicket, and then I'd have a cycle towards any 2-mana card, and I need Trophy or Goyf anyway, so I might as well just get the value with the Loam.
Yeah, with one card drawn, I think that's...
I could draw Influence. I gotta give myself the out to do that.
Sure. That would, I think, actually just win you the game, basically. Okay.
Not a bad one.
Yep.
Let's play the tapped land and pass the turn. Still in a very precarious spot. Is this even real?
Who's the salty one now, chat?
I think it's both of you.
Yeah, you know. I had good draws. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm aware. I was here too.
All right, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to get Cyborgs come back with game 3 of our Grixis Unearthed deck versus the Golgari
Aggro Loam.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
And welcome back here to Versus Live, where we're sideboarding with Golgari Aggro Loam against Grixis Unearth. On my side, we're going to be cutting Collective Brutality. The removal aspect, it doesn't match up very well against Todd's creatures. You know, the creatures that I really want to kill with spot removal are Dreadhorde Arcanist and Gurmag Angler. Both Seasoned Pyromancer and Snapcaster Mage get immediate value, and I'm less concerned with answering them one for one. And Brutality does not answer either of those first two. I think Raven's Crime is not great in this matchup because Todd is going to empty his hand pretty quickly and then use Seasoned Pyromancer and Life from the Loam to sort of generate card advantage or generate it on the battlefield with chains of Unearth and Snapcaster Mage and Arcanist. And then we're bringing in some more potent disruption for the matchup. We saw in both games how I was struggling to deal with the tokens from Seasoned Pyromancer. So I've got a copy of Liliana Last Hope and a Damnation.
Love it.
I'm not bringing in the Languish as another sweeper. Languish doesn't kill Gurmag Angler, and I don't think I need too many sweepers in the matchup. The Kalitas is also quite good against Pyromancer, stopping it from hitting the yard, letting my battlefield go wide too. You know, a 2/2 is going to match up pretty well against 2 1/1s. And then the Grafdigger's Cage is really good because it doesn't interrupt, anything that I'm doing because I'm bringing out my Raven's Crimes. And it interrupts, Unearth, Faithless Looting, Flashback, Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Snapcaster Mage out of Todd's deck. So a really potent card in the matchup.
My side, we're going to be trimming some discard effects. The Thought Seizes are the worst of the two. They obviously can't, take Kalitas and Damnation after sideboard, but the majority of Ross cards are going to be 3 or less. And the life total matters pretty often when we're like racing a Tarmogoyf or whatever we saw in game 1. The Twisted Image, not really for this matchup, is kind of a weird card that is okay in game 1 against things like Thing in the Ice or Noble Hierarch, and then sometimes you target your own Dreadhorde Arcanist so you can cast a Kolaghan's Command for 1 mana effectively. And those are like the good parts of Twisted Image. But in this matchup, I think it's just going to be a little too hard to get any value out of it. And sometimes I just might not even be able to cast it. And I think that's pretty important to get it out the deck. Surgical is coming in mostly for Life from the Loam, just to stop Ayula's Assault from being too overpowered. I think I can beat like a 2/2 every turn, but I can't beat 3 2/2s every turn. So
I think that's true of a lot of decks.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. And the Surgicals can sometimes, if I know his hand, I might be able to like use it to snag like all his Tarmogoyfs or whatever, or just depending on what he has in hand. Sometimes you can use it as an additional discard spell, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for me, Jerry?
talk to me about Echo of Aeons.
I think the hype yesterday was a little overblown, but in combination with Lion's Eye Diamond, formats with Lion's Eye Diamond, whew, I'm excited.
I saw a hot take yesterday that I agree with, that I don't know if Time Twister would see Modern play. So all these cards where you have to jump through hoops to play Time Twister, I don't really like them. So
Legit.
would be fine being wrong. Time Twister might be insanely busted with a bunch of like Mox Opal decks or whatever, just being able to empty your hand quickly and then just draw 7. We already have Days Undoing with Narset to like have that little mini combo if you really want it.
Right.
It's a cool card. You know, the reason why Time Spiral itself was so good is because it untapped 6 lands. You know, it's effectively free.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Time Twister is also pretty good. It's just not a fair. It's not a card that you play fair with. It's just a card that you play in combo decks, and it's very good. It's like an incredible.
I mean, I just think it's worse than Passion Flames. Like, I think Passion Flames is an inherently more powerful card than Time Twister.
Sure, but you're not replacing Passion Flames with this card. It's like a 1 or 2 of in Legacy Storm.
Okay,
but it helps like that having that option. Legacy Storm decks used to play Diminishing Returns. Is that the 4-mana one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exile.
I never thought that card was that good though, and that they only played that because they didn't have Passion Flames. I don't know. I think that it would probably see Legacy play, but I don't know if it would. There are enough busted things to do with it in Modern. Like the Storm decks are all like pretty. I could be wrong. I'm fine being wrong. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm not that high on it in Modern. I want to just play it with the Lion's Eye Diamond.
That's fair.
A lot of hot takes in chat.
That's fine.
I will keep my hand.
I will keep mine as well.
I will play Forest Grafdigger's Cage.
Tilt.
It's busted. It's unplayable.
Let's go blue-black.
It's better than Time Twister.
It's certainly not. Played the Cage on turn 1, so it didn't get taken by an Inquisition. Now Todd is going to have to try to get pretty aggressive here, because I have my card advantage engine already set to go.
It's going to take Loam and then Surgical before he can start cycling stuff.
That's pretty good. So you're at 15?
Yeah. And I'll be done after that.
What were you saying about an engine?
Well, yeah, he was about to start talking about how good his engine was, and I wanted to just make sure he did.
You should have let him talk a little bit more.
No. I don't like the slow rolls as much as some people. I like stealing your hope immediately.
You are a man of instant gratification.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's my money and I want it now.
Okay. Well, a little unfortunate there, but both our engines are now pretty much gone. Let's... Do I cycle this Tranquil Thicket? I feel like I do. I'm a 27 land deck. I don't want all these lands entering tapped. It's a weird one. I'm not rebuying these cycling lands at all this game, so maybe I need to value them more as lands and wait on this. I'm just going to play the Bog and Bog you. You can go.
I'm thoroughly bogged.
There's a chance he has like Thought Scour into Angler this turn. Although, not a great play when I have Trophy, I guess.
Serum.
Yep.
Let's go to 12. Serum again.
Some nice sequencing there. Serum Visions and Fetch.
Well, I wasn't sure I wanted to cast the other Serum Visions this turn, but then the top ones were bad, so it didn't matter. Like, I was planning on just, like, keeping the top 2 and then, you know, Fetch Shocking next turn or whatever. So, I'm at 12.
Yep.
Draw. Just one more threats. One more Seasoned Pyromancer and Gurmag, I think. So, your turn. The Thought Scour is not that bad, but it's just, like, a little too mana intensive for our
Thoughts
current
easy.
game. 2 Unearth, Fatal Swing, and the Delta. Sorry.
So Unearth is dead with Cage in play.
Yep.
It's just going to cycle.
Yep.
And Dreadhorde Arcanist does not do much with Cage in play.
Yep. And
the looting is the most efficient way for Todd to fix his hand, so let's take that.
Okay.
I'm at 18. I'll play my Baron more and pass the turn.
Okay. So we do want potentially a second red for Seasoned Pyromancer should we draw it. You have 2 cards. You're not that close to casting Ayula's Assault unless you have it in hand and draw Twilight Mire exactly. So, don't know if I want to fetch Shock just to cast Inquisition. Your land is tapped though, so I guess let's just Inquisition you and see what the other 2 cards are before we make any decisions. So I think we just take Tireless Tracker here. It's one of the better ones. And I'll fetch Shock, go to 9 and play an Arcanist, and then if Ross does something where he taps out and we draw a Kolaghan's Command, we get to obliterate him. So okay.
You can go.
So I'm gonna go to 9.
Has Ross not been willing to play with his hand face up?
Sometimes he doesn't.
Okay.
And then whenever he thought sees me, he's just like, dude, just play your hand face up. And he gets a little snippy about it.
Yeah.
And then when I do it a lot,
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ember Floyd pointed out that Ross has his hand face up without asking this time.
That's fine. Thank you, Ross. I appreciate it. You're the best. All right. I will move to declare attacks. I will attack and target Serum Visions. I can't cast it. That's fine. But I'm trying to bait him into Assassin Trophy me before I attack, so that way I get an extra land. Because if I attack and target it, and then with the target on the stack blow this up, I still get it even if he trophies. So
yep.
You take 1. You're at what, 17?
Yep.
I'm at 9. Here you go.
Thing is, if you Kolaghan's Commanded now, you wouldn't be able to cast the card anyway.
Yes, I would. Because I can't. So I target it with the ability.
Yep.
Then I blow this up, and then I get to resolve it and cast it.
Oh yeah, this is the one that's not paying its mana cost. I just had it. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. So probably gonna.
You can go.
I'm just gonna cycle at least one of these unearths. Draw. And then I will Thought Scour me.
Does it make you sad or happy to cycle on Earth?
Very happy. The card that gets turned. I mean, it basically is still on. Declare attacks.
Yep.
All right, take 1. Here at
16.
And we'll play another Arcanist and take a. I'll leave this on tap.
You can go.
All right, attack.
14.
Your turn.
This is modern at its finest, y'all.
You can go.
Dude, it's so good. This feels nice. Feels good. Let's see. Let's cycle on Earth. I'm gonna pop this EOT. Go to 8. Dreadhorde Arcanist not looking good against Cage, but that's just gonna happen. Hopefully we draw Kolaghan's Command at some point and unlock these baddies. You have 3 unknowns?
Yep.
Okay. Attacks?
Before you declare, I'll push 1.
Okay.
13. Push doesn't really get much better here, so
yeah,
might as well play around the K command that turn. I want to save the trophy for an angler. Oh, another one.
We wanted to not play the third one into a damnation, but since he pushed 1, I figured playing the second one's fine.
I will shock to 11 and play an influence.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Tap. Draw. Player attacks.
Yep. 4 blocks, so I'll make a bear.
I will bolt said bear.
I will take 2. 9.
Your turn.
Well, Inquisition.
Still, almost did it the other way. That 3 damage might end up mattering, but I wanted to play around Tarmogoyf. But Ross tapped a Swamp last turn like he was about to cast a
That's the turn.
spell. So, all right, Serum Visions.
Yep.
That was a great draw. These on the bottom. So the land will not be a spell if I discard it to Seasoned. So we'll just play the Seasoned with an empty hand and draw 2.
Yep.
And he can't make 2 bears, so there's no reason not to attack with both of these. Other than blocking, but maybe I'd just, whatever, attack.
Do I want to kill one of these? My life total is pretty low. Time's just drawing 2 fresh cards. I don't know. What can I draw that is really good here? The creatures, if Todd hasn't drawn a removal spell, the Pyromancer is going to be hard to answer. Kalitas would be quite good.
Yep.
Think I'm just going to take it for one more turn and go to 7.
Yep, your turn. And you don't really want to trophy my Pyromancer, because then I get to potentially make a couple 2/2s.
Yeah. Okay, let's play a Dark Confidant.
Yep.
Pass the turn. Actually, do I do this to help this survive first?
Playing position.
No, it's Thoughtseize, which is the problem.
You're at 7 right now?
Pass the turn. This just...
Hey, maybe. I don't know. Discard lands. Draw 2. Alright, attack.
I'm not even sure if I can go to 3 here, get 1 card out of it. I'm trying to draw into Damnation at this point. So, yeah, let's block and go to 5.
Your turn.
Maybe I was supposed to trophy there.
You still trophy if you want.
Yeah, I could have trophy and gone to 5 and kept the Dark Confidant in play.
Mm-hmm.
That might no, because if I trophy, you get to make some 1/1s. So trophy is actually bad. That one's also not very good, but I guess we'll cast it. Liliana, Edict you.
Red Dreadhorde.
Pass the turn.
We'll fetch and cast 2 Snapcasters and attack for lethals.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Sorry, I have to get a swamp, but yeah. Alright. Well, fought through Grafdigger's Cage. Ruined my Dreadful Darkness, my Unearths, and my Snaps, but
yeah.
That's kind of what happens in Modern sometimes, where both players kind of take away the engines of the other after sideboard, whether it's an artifact deck with something like Stony Silence or a combo deck where you play something like Aethersworn Canonist, and you have these games where you're fighting with low resources and your cards don't quite function as well as they should or could. And that game was a key example where I took his Loam, so his Ayula's influence was a lot worse, but his Grafdigger's Cage shut down all of my threats. So,
yeah, well, you still just got in there with a bunch of them. The key was me just you drew the Inquisition the turn before I was set to play Tracker.
Yeah.
I never established any sort of card advantage, and Season Pyromancer continues to be really problematic for me to deal with.
Yeah. We're a few minutes before 2. So we got like 8. Let's take some questions and then talk about new cards, I guess, and then we'll move on.
1 game 3 and want to stop. Sure.
That game took like 15 minutes,
The games are slow.
Yeah. We got a lot of Magic to get to today. I actually want to take a bunch of questions from chat if we have them.
Sure.
Nope.
No?
Yeah, we got questions.
Jerry just wanted to see another game.
Chat is very good at pointing out every time the Get Drunk Monster would have been good.
Yeah.
Which was a lot.
Sure.
Yeah. Like your Loams get surgical or whatever, and now you have this thing that does stuff.
Sure, but he was stuck on 3 mana for 9 turns? Something like that?
Okay.
I don't know.
Still had 5 mana for several turns at the end.
and no way to put a land in my graveyard. I guess it does it itself, but then you're like...
It eats the land. That's what it does. It eats the lands. I mean, I do think Get Draw Monster is quite good. I would rather see it in a more dedicated shell where you play things like Azusa, fetch lands, Life in the Loam, that type of deal. And that honestly might be a cool direction to take the deck. You can go away from the rock style where you play Lily and things like that, and go way more toward the generating a ton of mana, drawing a bunch of cards. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely something there. I think Ayula's Assault is a lot easier to play than Seismic Assault, and functionally very similar and worth exploring.
Yeah, mana base was wonky at times. There's definitely work to be done there. Sure. Maybe you just want to be, a green-red deck, so you get Wrenn and 6 as an additional sort of loam, and that insulates you from surgical extraction. But then, how is like a basic rule, loam deck beating so many of the Titan decks, Tron, Storm, anything like that? I was really concerned about having this plotting fair deck that is really good against other fair decks, but is just going to get crushed by everything else. Though here I lost to another fair deck because you just had Seasoned Pyromancer was so problematic.
I think that card's nuts. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's really good with Unearth and all these synergies and stuff, but like, just in top deck mode, I just like play the last card out of my hand and get a draw 2, and if it ever dies, I get like a mini Lingering Souls or whatever. Like, card just felt nice. Early on, just discarding a couple of spells that I could unearth back, like a Snapcaster Mage or whatever. It felt really nice, and I don't know. It felt really good at most times when I had it. So.
Yeah, no, definitely a card that is going to excel in these grindy fair matchups.
Yeah.
And here I was a little unprepared to answer that card.
All right, next.
Shadow Friend wants to know what y'all think about Thopter Sword with the 2 new tutors, both Goblin Engineer and the Treasure Mage, Tribute Mage.
You want this one? Or?
I don't think building your entire deck around assembling Thopter Sword is particularly powerful. Like, we can do that already in Modern pretty well with Whir of Invention and a ton of other cards. So if that was a powerful thing to be doing, we would be doing it already. And I don't think more of the, making that a little bit more consistent is the problem. There's just plenty of answers to it. There's a lot of main deckable answers that can just take the Thopter Foundry off the table. There's Leyline of the Void, Rest in Peace kind of cards that will just shut down the combo.
A lot of big mana decks are just playing Karn the Great Creator, and that just locks down the whole thing. We played an Urza High Lord Arcanist, or High Lord Artificer version of Thopter Sword on Tuesday, and it was a little slower than I would have liked it to be, but it was certainly resilient thanks to Thoughtcast and stuff. But there, if your opponent just casts a card in the Great Creator, yours not going to do anything anymore. And I think that's a huge problem when Karn is such a potent win condition, like all wrapped up neatly in itself, as well as like a hate engine for combo decks as a 4-mana Planeswalker. It just seems nuts.
Yeah, there's Karn, there's Collector Oof now, there's Stony Silence. These are all cards that didn't exist when Thopter Sword was dominating Extended in 2009, 2010.
Sup, Todd?
Sup. I think me and Jerry collectively won 75% of Magic Online daily events in that era.
Likely. Until I stopped actually playing Dark Depths and started playing like Wildfire decks. It's just nonsense.
Yeah. All right. So do like 2 more if you got them?
Yeah. Rabblemaster 3 wants to know, is Snow finally playable? We have the Merit Lage Maker.
Well, before we even had Merit Lage Maker, that came out this morning, right?
Yeah.
Ross actually has a snow deck he's brought today, right?
Yeah, so that's going to be one of the 2 remaining decks. We've got a little Sultai mid-range snow deck with some Ice Fang Coatls.
Reminds me a lot, honestly, of like Shardless Bug back in the day, or Shardless Sultai, but when the deck was made, it was Shardless Bug.
Yeah, it was.
And, like it had Toxic Deluge and a lot of, and Baleful Strix and a lot of these like very potent 2-for-1s in a format that doesn't have a lot of 2-for-1s. And Modern, very similar in that vein. And you have the what I call it Death Snow because I can't remember the name of it.
Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter seems like a phenomenal card with just playing a bunch of snow lands. Is it Wing Fang Coatl or
Ice Fang Coatl?
Ice Fang Coatl is quite good, I think. The fact that it draws a card without the snow part of it is very cool. And then as the game progresses, it gains Death Touch, so it gains value on on like turn 3 if you hit 3 snow lands, or turn 2 if you have 2 snow lands in the bauble that you're playing.
Yes, Arkham's
But
Arkham Summon.
I think Dead of Winter is quite good with Tarmogoyf, and you're going to see that a lot, like you would see Tarmogoyf combined with Toxic Deluge, where it's never going to kill your own Tarmogoyf, or rarely. I would say.
You're going to try to cast it at X equals 4 or at 4 snow permanents when it goes to 4/5 and get some value that way. Your Coatl's never going to die to it because it's a snow creature.
Yeah.
So
I want one more good snow creature for Dead of Winter. I don't know, maybe there's another one that it's like a common that's way better than it actually looks because it works really well with Dead of Winter or something.
Does Meryl Age count? It's not officially a snow creature, but I don't think it's going to
I don't think you're going to have 20 snow permanents.
Right.
Are you excited, Jared, because you actually get to see your token?
My token is relevant.
Yeah.
Yet again. Well,
Jared,
maybe.
It's always been relevant.
Well, your token's always been irrelevant because your opponent either bounces it or concedes immediately.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't stay on the battlefield for very long. So
sometimes you get to see some fairy rogue tokens jump blocking it.
Yeah.
Well, then it's also not relevant.
But it's on there.
It
It's
is
there.
on the battlefield. When it's on the battlefield, you're losing.
Definitely did not consider that when I chose to make that token, but no regrets.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. All right, let's do one more.
Yeah, Deft Fangirl wants to know if there is any merit to Urza plus Paradoxical Outcome, which could be another take on that sort of deck.
You get to generate all the mana, like float a bunch of mana, so you net mana off the outcome. I'm in.
That sounds good, right?
Yeah, no, I'm in.
All right, Versus Live is canceled. We have to go into the Brewer's Paradise
I'm
here.
to take a cold shower. I will be back.
Do we have a defibrillator offhand?
All right, we're coming back. Can we do less than 10 minutes, or do we have to?
Let's do 7.
All right, we'll take a 7-minute break. I gotta get some water, go to the bathroom and stuff. What's the next match we got?
I'm playing Goblin Sacrifice, and you're playing Humans.
Cool. Now, the human deck, we'll go into it more when we actually get to the match. My new card is going to be, is it Ranger Captain of Eos or something? Like Ranger Captain of Eos, and your new cards are?
I have
a ton.
Sling Gang Lieutenant.
Yes.
I have one of the legendary one. What is it?
Pashulik
Mons. That's a tutor target Goblin for Goblin Matron. That's another card. And
Sharpshooter, or not Sharpshooter. The instant one that comes down and for the
Munitions
Expert. Yes, There we go.
Boom.
Yeah, a lot of the new goblins. We're going heavy sacrifice. I got Blood Artists in there.
Love it.
And some Prospectors as a Prospector and Siege and Commander and Sling Gang Lieutenant as sacrifice outlets. So and then some nice tutor targets for your Goblin Matron.
Okay.
So check out that list. That'll be up on the screen during the break, but we will be back in 7 minutes and have some more Modern Horizons action here for you at Versus Live.